There comes a moment in every chosen one's life, a turning point, where being gentle isn't enough anymore. When forgiveness alone won't cut it. When your light, instead of just gently shining, needs to blaze like a sword, you've been told that your kindness is your strength. And it is. But now, you're beginning to see the harsh truth: this world preys on those who shine without knowing how to fight. Demons, both the invisible ones and the ones walking around in human skin, take advantage of souls that were never taught how to bite back. Spiritual warfare isn't just poetic language. It's real. It's a daily battleground of energy, intention, and unseen forces. And no, life's not fair. In fact, it's rigged, especially against the awakened, the good-hearted, the pure. But not because God has turned his back on you. It's because he's training you. You're being forged into something unshakable. If this message has found you right at the moment when your heart is cracking, your spirit feels heavy, and your soul is crying out for clarity, listen closely. You are not weak because you're tired. You are divine because you're still standing, and now, your next level. It's not going to come from just praying. It's going to come from rising, boldly, fiercely, and yes, even ruthlessly. Type 111 in the comments if this message hits home. If this is exactly what your soul needed today. And before we go deeper, hit that subscribe button, because every video on this channel is a weapon, a shield, and a reminder that your light was never meant to bow. Let's get into it. 9 reasons why chosen ones must become ruthless to win. In both spiritual warfare
mercy
and real
without
life, boundaries is self-destruction. From the beginning, you were taught that mercy was your greatest gift. Forgive quickly. Let things go. Be the bigger person. And for a long time, you did just that. You forgave when it hurt. You gave people second, third, 10th chances. You kept hoping that your love would heal them. That your light would be enough to make them change. But here's the truth: in a world drowning in shadow, mercy without boundaries isn't holiness, it's self-destruction. Bleeding for people who love to see you wounded. That's not righteousness. That's sacrifice. Being ruthless doesn't mean being cruel. It means being clear. It's choosing your mental peace over someone else's chaos. Your healing over your history. Your future over your pain. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do, for yourself and others, is to walk away. Even if your heart shakes while doing it. Reason 2, evil doesn't respect kindness, only power. Let's be clear, darkness doesn't run from softness. Demons, spiritual or otherwise, aren't afraid of sweet smiles or kind gestures. In fact, they study your softness. They look for cracks. They read your hesitation like a map. Evil doesn't respect light unless that light doesn't just glow, but scorches. A soul that radiates with such unwavering strength that it shifts the atmosphere when you walk in. People who once tried to manipulate you will think twice. Leechers won't even get close. Why? Because you stopped being safe for them to use. Kindness without a spine is an invitation for predators. But when you speak with spiritual authority and move like a storm wrapped in light, you're no longer just a nice person. You're a force. This world doesn't hand out crowns, you take them. And in the spirit realm, only the bold are feared. Only the relentless are followed. This is your wake-up call. Let your kindness grow teeth. Let your soul become a fortress. And make darkness tremble when you show up. Reason 3, pain was your initiation, but power is your destiny. There's a reason your life hasn't been easy. The heartbreak, the betrayals, the long nights when no one saw your tears, none of it was random. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Chosen ones aren't born in comfort. They're forged in fire. They're baptized in pain. Refined in silence. You were never meant to stay broken. You were always meant to rise, not as someone bitter, but as someone dangerous. Not to hurt others, but to make sure you never get hurt the same way again. Ruthlessness is wisdom. Wisdom earned from fire. It means you stop repeating broken cycles. You stop walking into the same cages dressed in different names. You stop praying to be saved and start saving yourself. Either you become the lion, bold, regal, untouchable, or you stay the lamb, hoping someone else will protect you. But chosen one, you weren't born to wait. Reason 4. You were born to lead. Ruthlessness attracts the right battles. Everything changes when you tighten your boundaries. The noise that used to follow you, the drama, the chaos, the distractions, they start to fade. Why? Because ruthlessness sharpens your energy. It's like tuning your soul to a higher frequency. Suddenly, you stop letting people audition for roles they were never meant to play in your life. You stop handing out pieces of your time, your peace, your love to people who don't value it. Ruthlessness doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring strategically. You protect your spirit like it's sacred, because it is, and when you live like that, divine opportunities show up. The right people find you. The wrong ones flee. The battles you face aren't just random anymore, they're purposeful. You're not just fighting to survive. You're fighting to win. Reason 5. Your destiny is too big for weak boundaries. Let's be honest. You weren't made for a small life. You weren't sent here to blend in, to coast, or to live quietly in the background. You were chosen to shift atmospheres, to break chains, to carry a spiritual frequency that transforms everything it touches, and that kind of destiny. It demands strong boundaries. Weak boundaries are an invitation for chaos. They leave you exposed, drained, off course. But when you get ruthless about protecting your time, your peace, your energy, that's when you start walking in your calling. Being ruthless means saying no without guilt. Resting without shame. Guarding your energy like gold. Because if you burn out, your mission burns out with you. But your boundaries? That's your armor. Reason 6. The world doesn't reward your suffering, only your strength. Let's get something straight. Suffering doesn't earn you extra credit in the spirit realm. There's no divine scoreboard keeping track of how long you've been hurting, how many tears you've shed, or how much you've silently endured. Yes, your pain shaped you. It carved out parts of you that are now deeper, wiser, more resilient. But pain alone isn't your purpose. You weren't chosen just to survive. You were chosen to build from that survival. The world doesn't bow to your wounds. It bows to your strength, your ability to rise, rebuild, and roar after the storm. Ruthlessness is when you finally stop romanticizing your pain and start weaponizing your wisdom. It's when you stop letting heartbreak define you and start letting it refine you. You don't get blessed just because you endured. You get blessed because you evolved. Because you became the kind of person who can protect the blessing when it comes. Kindness is beautiful. But strength, that sacred, steady, unshakable strength, that's what protects your destiny. That's what the world respects. That's what heaven backs. Reason 7. Love without wisdom is a trap. Your heart is big, chosen one. It loves with depth, with passion, without holding back. And that's powerful, but it's also dangerous when it's not paired with discernment. Without wisdom, love becomes a trap. It becomes a slow, spiritual drain. The enemy isn't always some horned demon in the shadows. Sometimes, it's a charming face, a needy friend, a toxic family member who knows you'll keep giving, because your love teaches you. Real love isn't supposed to cost your sanity. It's not supposed to confuse you, deplete you, or leave you questioning your worth. Ruthless love is wise love. It chooses carefully. It gives intentionally. It knows the difference between someone who truly loves you and someone who just loves your energy. It's not about being cold, it's about being clear. Loving from a place of strength, not desperation. Because if you don't learn to choose yourself, you'll keep choosing people who would never choose you back. You weren't chosen to be drained. You were chosen to overflow. And love, real love, protects your overflow. It doesn't steal it. Reason 8. The devil fears the ruthless chosen one. Let's not sugarcoat this. The enemy doesn't lose sleep over passive believers. He's not worried about empaths who cry but don't set boundaries. He's not shaken by the light that refuses to burn, but the ruthless chosen one. That's a different story, the one who's been through hell and didn't just survive, but came back lit with holy fire. The one who doesn't just ask for peace, they command it. The one who no longer begs for validation, doesn't over-explain, doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. This is the kind of soul hell can't figure out. The kind the devil hates because you can't be seduced, manipulated, or broken. You've seen too much. You've lost too much. And now, you carry too much authority. When you become ruthless, you stop flinching in the fight. You forgive, but you don't fold. You love, but you don't lose yourself doing it. Your scars, they tell stories. Your silence, it speaks volumes. And your presence, that's why darkness shifts realms. Not because you're perfect, but because you won't quit. Because you've stepped into your divine power, and you carry the weight of heaven in your voice. Reason 9, your legacy requires a warrior, not a victim. You weren't born to be pitied. You weren't chosen so you could be coddled. You were sent here on assignment. You are a living, breathing legacy, written in divine fire, and here's the truth, legacy and victimhood can't coexist. Yes, what you went through was real. Yes, the betrayal cut deep. Yes, the pain almost broke you. But you can't wear your crown with your head down. You can't lead a legacy while staying stuck in a loop of, why me? Victimhood might feel safe, but it's a trap. It's a cage. And chosen ones were never meant to be caged. You are here to be the warrior your ancestors prayed for. The one who breaks cycles. The one who destroys generational strongholds. The one who rises from the ashes and refuses to burn again. Ruthlessness is not about hurting others. It's about never letting the world hurt you the same way twice. It's choosing to protect your light with everything you've got. It's the fire in your belly, the steel in your spine, the storm behind your calm. You weren't chosen to fall apart. You were chosen to fight, so rise, not as someone who's been broken, but as someone who was rebuilt. Not as a victim, but as a warrior. Because the world doesn't need more wounded souls playing small. It needs you, your war cry, your courage, your clarity. This is the Alchemy of Awareness channel. And if this message hit you in your soul, if you felt that internal shift, that awakening, that push to stop playing small and start walking in divine authority, then it wasn't by accident. You were meant to hear this. Now it's time you were called to hear this. Type 1111 in the comments if this message came at the exact moment you needed it. And don't forget to subscribe, because every video on this channel is a spiritual weapon, a reminder, a challenge, and a call to rise, because yes, your kindness is holy. But your ruthlessness, that's sacred fire, and that's how you win. Let's go deeper. Because if you're still here, you're not just interested in survival, you're ready to transform. This isn't about hype. It's not about surface-level motivation. This is about alignment, with your calling, your power, your legacy. And that means ruthlessness isn't a trend. It's not about becoming cold or disconnected. It's about becoming clear. Grounded. Unshakable. So let's finish this journey the way a chosen one should, fully awake, fully armed. Reason 10, clarity is a superpower, and ruthlessness creates it. When you stop sugarcoating, overthinking, and second-guessing everything, something powerful happens. You get clear. Ruthlessness clears the fog. It removes the noise. It eliminates the dead weight, people, patterns, even versions of yourself that no longer serve where you're going, and with that clarity, decisions become easier. You no longer ask, is this right? You know. You feel it. You trust it. Because your intuition has been sharpened by fire, and now it's your compass. People who are afraid of losing others will always stay confused. But chosen ones? We move differently. We let the wrong people walk. We let the past burn. We stop begging for signs and start becoming the sign. That's ruthless clarity, and once you walk in it, you don't just move faster, you move smarter. You align with your purpose instead of just chasing peace. You become the version of you that heaven can trust with heavy assignments. The kingdom needs you strong, not just spiritual. Prayer is powerful. Meditation is essential. Healing work matters, but sometimes, chosen one, you've prayed enough. You've fasted, journaled, saged your whole house, pulled cards, cried to the moon, and still felt stuck. Why? Because spiritual power without mental strength and emotional boundaries is incomplete. The kingdom doesn't just need you to be kind. It needs you to be capable. There are battles happening every day, in energy, in systems, in culture, that won't be won by softness alone. They require spiritual warriors who are rooted in both compassion and strategy. People who don't just feel deeply but who can move decisively. Ruthlessness is the bridge between spiritual intention and practical action. It's what allows you to pray with power and walk into rooms with presence. It's what helps you hear divine instruction and act on it immediately, without waiting for someone else's permission. This isn't about ego. It's about agency. About rising with divine authority and taking up space like you know heaven is backing your every step. Reason 12, ruthlessness is a boundary with the past. Let's talk about the past. The versions of you that tolerated too much, apologized for shining, stayed quiet to keep the peace, they served a purpose. They helped you survive. But they can't come with you. Ruthlessness means drawing a clear line in the sand, not just with others, but with yourself. It's telling your old habits, old trauma responses, old fears, thank you for your service. But we're done here. It's refusing to revisit pain just because it's familiar. It's cutting ties with the stories that say you're too much, too intense, too soft, too weird. That's on yesterday's survival strategy. You need a new blueprint, one that honors who you really are, not who you had to be to make it through, so when those old triggers show up, you don't collapse. You decide. You don't run back. You rise forward. That's ruthless growth. And it's sacred. Reason 13, ruthlessness makes you spiritually unshakable. The storms will come. The betrayals. The losses. The spiritual attacks. You already know this, it's part of being chosen, but here's the difference. A ruthless soul doesn't break every time the weather changes. They bend, but they don't bow. They get knocked down, but they rise with strategy. Not panic. Not desperation. But clarity, fire, and unshakable vision, because once you stop tying your worth to how others treat you. Once you stop attaching your peace to external outcomes. You become untouchable, you stop fearing the storm. You become the storm, you carry the frequency of someone who's already won. You don't chase alignment, you embody it. You don't plead with darkness to leave you alone. You command it to flee, and that kind of authority. That's what moves mountains. That's what shifts atmospheres, that's what makes a chosen one dangerous, not to others, but to the systems and spirits that profit from you staying small. Reason 14, ruthlessness awakens legacy. Look, your life isn't just about you. It's about every soul that comes after you. Every person who'll be freed because you had the courage to break the cycle. Every dreamer who'll rise because you showed it was possible, and you can't pass down strength you never claimed. That your legacy will not be one of silence. Not one of endless suffering. Not one of broken patterns repeating themselves through another generation. It's your decision, now, to become the blueprint. The first. The shift. The one who said, "This ends with me." That decision requires clarity. Discipline. Boundaries so strong they shake every old stronghold still trying to cling to you, because the weight of legacy. It's heavy, but you weren't chosen because you're weak. You were chosen because you can carry it, and not just carry it, grow it. Protect it. Multiply it. Final word, the sacred fire within you. Let's bring this full circle, your kindness. Still holy. Your heart. Still gold, but now. It's guarded, now, it's powered by truth, not just hope. Now, it shines and scorches. It gives light, but also commands respect. This is your moment, no more playing small. No more waiting for others to validate what's already been written in your soul. No more apologizing for evolving. No more softening your power so others feel comfortable. You are divine. You are dangerous. You are ruthless, in the most sacred way. When light doesn't know how to fight. You felt the cost of compassion without boundaries. And now you understand, the most loving thing you can do for yourself, and for the world, is to rise fully, boldly, unapologetically, as the chosen one you are. This is alchemy of awareness. If this message unlocked something in you, if you felt chills, clarity, or confirmation, it wasn't by accident. It was a divine appointment. Type 1111 in the comments if this message found you at the exact right moment, and subscribe, because every video here is made for your evolution. A weapon. A guide. A reminder that your power is real, and your presence is needed. The world has enough victims. What it needs now is your war cry. Thank you for watching.